Dr. Sowell, good to have you with us.
Good to be with you.
Now, in your book, you paraphrase one of my heroes, George Orwell, who said that some ideas are so foolish, only intellectuals would believe them. So could you give us an example of an idea that is widely accepted as presumed truth among today's intelligentsia that is patently foolish to anyone who is not an intellectual?
Well, I guess one of the things you hear a lot about is the notion that we have to raise taxes because there shouldn't be tax cuts for the rich, and the government needs the money. This argument goes back to the 1920s, and it was made under the Coolidge, the Reagan, the Kennedy, and the George W. Bush administrations. The argument for cutting the high tax rate is very straightforward. That if tax rates get above a certain level, you can actually get more revenue by cutting the tax rates than by raising them. The reason being that, of course, the idea that you can soak the rich means that the rich are going to stand still and be soaked, when in point of fact, the record shows that they put their money into tax shelters, and so you have these wonderfully high tax rates on paper, but the government is not collecting any money from it. Now, under those conditions, when you cut the tax rates, you then can increase the revenue, and that's what happened in the 20s. They cut the rate from about 73% to about 24%, and the government collected more revenue, and particularly more revenue from the rich, at 24% than they did at 73%. And this kind of thing has happened over and over again. The converse has also happened, places where you raise the tax rates and the revenue goes down because people don't pay them. Despite how often this has happened, the argument is still the same as it was 80 years ago, and most intellectuals just remain impervious to the evidence. Worse yet, in our schools and colleges, some of the leading textbooks completely misstate what was claimed in the 20s and misstate even more so what actually happened.